From 2000 to 2001, Indiana saw a positive 80,000 net migration. So what that means is that 80,000 more people moved to Indiana than moved out of Indiana. So I'm not saying people aren't moving out. I'm just saying we had more people moving in than moving out, which is a little bit lower than what we saw in the 1990s, in which there was a 200,000 positive net migration. So what's going on here? So what we have is we have this in-migration that's mostly from neighboring states. And so you get people moving from Illinois, people moving from Ohio, Kentucky, Michigan, moving to Indiana. A few different reasons for this. First off, you got a lot of colleges in Indiana. So we have colleges scattered all throughout the state. So we have a lot of small schools, a lot of big schools. So for our size of the state, we have actually a lot of colleges. And so we have a lot of college students who are migrating. So a lot of young people migrating to, for example, Purdue, IU, wherever from out of state. Also, we have affordable housing and a lot of job growth in Hamilton County and Hendricks County, two counties that surround part of metropolitan Indianapolis that surround Marion County and Indianapolis. In fact, Hamilton County had 65,000 more people moving to Hamilton County than moving out of Hamilton County. That's a huge number. Hendricks County, 32,000. So you're seeing this reflected in the schools. From 2000 to 2010, there was an addition of Fishers High School, which used to be in existence, but now you had it coming back because there's now enough people in this particular area to support multiple high schools. Avon, Brownsburg, Danville, Plainfield are all high schools that are growing in Hendricks County. And a lot of this is people from Chicago, Cleveland, Detroit, who, maybe they lost their job in those particular areas, or maybe they still have their job. They can just have a much bigger house, much more amenities down here, perhaps in Hamilton County than they would find in suburban Chicago, in which there's traffic congestion, it's a pain to get to the airports, all of that. Indianapolis is a much easier city to negotiate. So we think about where are people leaving from. A lot of those are people leaving from inner city areas, in particular there in Indianapolis, but also there in Gary. And so lack of jobs, lack of opportunities, people are going to move somewhere else. And so a lot of those people are moving to those same states in which we're getting people moving from. So the same states being Illinois, Ohio to a certain extent, Kentucky, not so much Michigan, but big time where we're seeing a lot of new people moving out of Indiana. A lot of young people are moving and heading towards Florida, heading to the south, heading to the Sun Belt, in which once again there's jobs available, which is something we've talked about in a previous chapter. Further, you're also seeing a lot of people leaving rural areas throughout the state, particularly in the northern half of the state, but these rural and small towns all throughout Indiana are losing a lot of its population, especially young people. The old people are sticking around, and we'll see the data showcase that here in a minute. But the people that are leaving typically are young people in which they're trying to find jobs somewhere else. So we look at the decade from 2010 to 2020. Now we see a map that shows all the counties of the state, and those places that are growing are either shown in dark blue or royal blue. And the places that are a little bit growing are white, and the places that are losing population are that taupey tan color, maybe might be orange on your monitor. And so what we can see is we can see just a few counties are going to see huge amounts of growth, and those are largely college towns or suburban counties. And so we can see in particular Hamilton County and Hendricks County are the two counties that are going to be growing the most. This makes a lot of sense for all those reasons I just mentioned: housing affordability, increasing job availability, increasing tertiary sector growth. So all of this leads to continued growth and projections we can go ahead and see going forward. And now the data extends out to 2050, and we can see for the most part the patterns stay the same. And so once again, you're going to see more and more of these patterns in which in these counties that are tan or orange colored, in which they're going to see a large out-migration, particularly of young people. And so what that means is you're going to see not so much a brain drain, because it's not like these are super gifted young people. In some cases they are, but what it is more decline of what we call the productive years. Those people in the 20s and 30s and 40s. And so that's when you're going to be the most productive in your life. It's where you're going to try to woo a spouse. It's where you're going to start a family. And as you start a family, you want to make more money. You want to have a better job, a more secure job. And so you're going to be more productive. When you get into your 50s and your 60s, you start to let off the pedal. You start to slow things down. And so we're going to see this play itself out when we look at age characteristics going forward as well.